So we'll go to the next matter now.
That's all. A pleasure.
All right. Do we start section item 26?
Item 26.
Ms. Bhati, in your adoptions case, is there any latest update by the chance?
Please find a status report, Mala.
Since he appears in person.
Please, Mala.
Sir, what is the position now in regard to the adoptions issue? Mr. Khambata will take it up right after this.
Yes, sir. Lots 18 we are appearing that contempt matter.
No, this is 17 which is called.
Actually, I have filed additional documents on 6th February.
So, Bhati, what is the position?
Malad, we filed a status report. Malad, the status report from states is indicating more steps is required on the earlier direction itself, Malad. So the states are, Malad, lagging behind sufficiently, Malad, in terms of registrations of children who are identified on the Carings portal. The second issue that they are lagging is, Malad, the formulation of the state bodies. Malad, still, Malad, there's a sufficient number of SAAs which are still non-functional.
But can you, since you are assisting the court, can you prepare some draft directions which you feel would be in the interest of justice for us to issue to the states?
My lord said, my recommendation, my lords, would be, your lordships have already passed detailed directions on the last occasion with a timeline. Lordships had directed that all SAAs and the, my lords, the vacancies should be full, all efforts will be made till end of January, my lords. Today also there are, my lords, there are 370 districts without authorities. That is very critical because, my lords, a child will not be brought to the center of the state. The district bodies have to be functional and operational. So, my lords may give last opportunity to the states to comply with the directions of your lordships earlier and direct us to file an updated status report. My lords, that would assist, my lords. The figures are there.
Yes, sir. We'll take it up on Monday.
No, Lordship. Just wait, Lordship. I have already submitted additional documents on 6th of February. No more documents from the respondents are needed now. I have given a detailed framework how this can be solved immediately. Lordship, HAMA application.
Have you given a copy? Have you given a copy to
my colleague only focuses on the HAMA thing. That your lordships will have to consider separately.
You're not dealing only with the Hindu Adoptions and Maintenance Act. That may be at the back of your mind, but we are now that the process of adoptions is streamlined.
Yeah.
There's a huge delay. So we are not looking at it only from the point of view of children who are adopted in the Hindu Adoptions Act.
I agree with you, Lordship. In my submission dated 6th of February, I have bifurcated the entire adoption process into 4 categories. One is HAMA in-country, one is HAMA inter-country, one is non-HAMA in-country, one is non-HAMA inter-country. And I have given practical solutions, which my learned ASC will also agree. And it is very simple, Lordship. If you just give me 2 minutes, I shall explain it to you how it can be worked. Can I start, Lordship?
What we really need to do is, because we want to make that implementable. We've already issued comprehensive directions to the states on 20th November. There are still 370 districts where they have not constituted the state adoptions agencies. So it's like,
Lordship, that's
the most important thing, because otherwise if the SA is not constituted in the states, how are we going to have adoptions? 370 districts out of the 670 odd
out of 760, my lord.
760 districts.
Operational, 370 are not.
I agree, Lordship, but HAMA adoptions are around 90% in the country, and non-HAMA is 10%. And
we are not looking at this only as a Hindu adoptions phenomenon. We are looking at it in a more agnostic.
So my suggestion would be in that regard, form a committee, because my 10 suggestions about non-HAMA adoption, they have not been brought into practice, and most of them are very practical. It's about simplification of adoption procedure, Lordship. Last time.
May I request an accommodation? I'm sorry, my lords. I've given my submissions, but I've broken my leg in the morning, my lords. If your lordship may consider calling it after a week.
Lordship,
what happened, Ms. Bhati?
My lords, I was playing with my dogs. I think I have got a hairline fracture.
Oh dear.
Lordship, I say my word.
But we can't have your version when she is not here and not well today.
Lordship, I agree. Last time I have given
the mishap in the morning, other than Bhati is always here.
I'll take just 2 minutes, Lordship. I have given the summary of my prayer last time, and I completed them halfway, and just 2 points are left. I have prayed for management information system, then for presumption of innocence, then integration of internal law, then JJ Act. Lordship, JJ Act 56(3) clearly says that Hama adoptions are not, they will continue, and there is no problem in the JJ Act about this, but the ministry is not permitting Hama adoptions. If this is my point, Lordship, just in 2 minutes I'll complete.
Yes.
In para 5, 90% of the problems will be solved in one go. As per the Act, nothing in this Act shall apply to the adoption of the children made under the purposes of...
Mr. Saxena, there is a personal difficulty today.
There is a personal difficulty today. He has had a fracture today.
Okay, no problem. No problem.
Kindly just see the first column and the last column.
Last column.
Pradesh 61.
Yes, my lords. Out of 75 districts, 61 are without. So, my lords, the real difficulty happens here. If there is no functional SAA in a district, then people who want to hand over a child or know about a child will...
So, as we go along, we'll just dictate so that we don't have to then keep on...
Please, my lords.
In pursuant to the previous order, in the previous order dated 15 March 2024,
Please, my lords.
it was noticed that 370 out of 760 districts in the country did not have functional state adoption authorities.
Specialized adoption agencies, my lords.
Specialized adoption agencies, into brackets SAAs. Full stop. The present position is revealed in the counter affidavit,
Compliance
the
affidavit.
compliance affidavit which has been filed by the Ministry of Women and Child
The question
Development.
is, how do adoptions take place in absence of any clear-cut guidelines, formats, rules, regulations? It's a problem, but these 20,000 adoptions, they are taking place with certain basic policies and documents, and sometimes even without documents. And the actual figure, as I estimate, is not 20,000. It could be in the range of 50,000 or 1 lakh. So I just wanted to place before your Lordship that some guidelines could be made. And after having a meeting with CARA officials and the learned SG also, and in the public also, I found that certain regular procedures are being followed, and I consolidated them all and placed before your Lordship under IA number 31313. This document was submitted to the advocates also, to the ASG also, and to the ministry also, and I had an opportunity to discuss with them on this. And after taking their suggestions only, I placed this document before your Lordship. Lordship, in this case, I bifurcated IA 313-2024. I bifurcated the adoptions in country and inter-country. In case of in-country, after following all the conditions as provided, in the Act, the adoption can take place with an adoption deed, and finally that will be completed after getting them registered with a centralized adoption registration agency, which could be formed by or under CARA, and they are happy to do it throughout the country, like we are having registration of births and deaths and marriages.
So, but what are your suggestions now? What are your suggestions, Mr. Saxena?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
What are your suggestions?
Yeah, my suggestions are all given in this document.
Which page? Which page?
Which page? Yeah, Lordship. I'll take a moment more because 29 onwards, Lordship.
Page 29 onward.
Yeah, page 29 of this document. Onwards. Detailed suggestion in 20 pages, sir. I covered everything. Following the provisions of this Act and the documents. Followed by registration at Centralized Adoption Registration Agency under CARA. in the entire country, Lordship.
That figure, Manoj, I will give that
Lordship,
updated
that
figure year-wise.
My lord.
That figure I have already given.
How much is it?
4,000. And actually, for the year ending March 2023, they have not given any figure till today morning. They have not uploaded. The figure is definitely around 4,000, 3,500. Lordship, India has become orphan capital of the
उनको
world
डर था
across the globe.
पहले से
And unfortunately, we are a part of it.
सुनाए गए
My lord, on the 1st of November 22,
अब नहीं
all
आएगा
the figures are
अब नहीं आएगा
visible on page 1. And the shocking figures are that
Where is your
number
note?
of-
Where is your note? Thursday, there's some difficulty. This bench may not
Friday.
be available on Thursday, Friday.
Friday. Next Monday, I'm not able to make it Monday or Tuesday.
30th, we'll take it up.
30th? No.
Mr. Shah, we have not frankly read your note. We'll
Yeah, 30th.
look at your note in greater detail. 30th, we'll take it up. You can also find out on
I will
by
correct
the
you.
140.
I'll be-
Lordship,
may I request, my lord, because we've touched, my lords, on the tragedy of adoption. Also the factor that adoption in the context of children with special needs is an even more abysmal situation. The third aspect is foster care, which again is a part of our law, which is on statute, but which really has no play given the number of children who are denied this sort of opportunity. And then there is a limb of sponsorship in terms of protection, of giving some sort of financial aid to parents who may still want to keep their children, which again is not activated.
We take it up. So you can connect now on the video conferencing. You don't have to come all the way from Mumbai to attend
I
this night.
tried, but in the end I failed in Bombay, so I missed to attend it. And before that I came. I'm appearing before you after 1 year, unfortunately. But
why
My
don't
lords, can we
why don't you appear through the video conferencing mode?
yeah,
You said you have some problem also with your vision. We have no difficulty. We'll hear you. We will hear you at length. Don't feel that if you're not in person, you'll not be heard properly. You appear through the video conferencing mode, so you don't have to come all the way here. You want to come here, you're most welcome. There's no difficulty. But
My lord, may I offer that he come to my chamber, and we will connect and ensure that he can address the call.
that is wonderful, Lord.
That's great. You go to Mr. Rohan Shah's chamber. He's a counsel in the Bombay, I suppose, in the Supreme Court as well.
1 minute more.
And he will give you all the facilities there. So he can argue from the same link. You can argue from the same link.
We would be very glad.
Lordship, just 1 minute more.
Under additional document page 133, he wants to read something. This is about regarding the UNICEF. According to UNICEF, almost 10,000 children became orphans every day. There are about 140 million.
That it's the weight is exasperating of Kara. Kara just doesn't allow adoptions to go through. It may be you have to weed out cases of abuse.
Well, Manoj,
It's a human thing. Just you intervene.
yes, Manoj.
The situation is like that, Lordship. Our vehicles, our roads and drivers are not perfect, but we have permitted transport.
All right, yes.
Yeah.
It's a very
And
genuine
if we
petition.
wait them to be perfect,
we
everything
tested his
becomes
bona fides when he first appeared before COVID before us. It's a genuine. That's why otherwise we wouldn't. We are also very careful, especially adoptions and other things.
and nothing will go wrong, Lordship. Nothing will go wrong.
Adoption, section 5 to 11 and section 16, resumption by court, need to be.
But Mr. Saxena, that Ms. Bhatia has herself said that Hama is not subject to this statutory regime.
Lordship, now the
But there you can't have an orphaned, you can't have an OAS child
Lordship, now I'll tell you the
because
facts.
yes.
Now I'll tell you the facts. I have visited local offices. I'll not tell the names. They are not permitting Hama adoption, and that is the reason of this low figure. That is the actual reason of this low figure.
Not permitting means what?
Not permitting.
Who is not permitting?
Yeah, the people are not approaching the court because whenever they tend to approach the court, the mindset of the people in the country has been made such that adoptions under Hama cannot take place. When I talked to those officials, they simply said, आपको फर्क क्या पड़ता है अगर हम 4 कागज एक्स्ट्रा मांग लेते हैं? This is the ground reality which I wanted to bring to the notice of the Honorable Court. And it is the reason that adoption rates are low. The moment you permit adoptions under Hama, as prescribed by the...
But where is the interface with the authorities come in this
It is
sector?
not there. If your lordships will just have Hama for a minute, ma'am. Malad, his chief grievance is, Malad, that the Kara authorities across the country don't allow Hama adoptions to take place. They bring the child within the fold of the Kara regulations, follow the Kara procedure. That is his chief grievance. So he wants action to be taken against those Kara officials and authorities who are. But my lords, data shows that Hama adoptions are huge in number. In fact, they are much more than the Kara adoptions. Kara has to follow the guidelines. My lords, Kara guidelines came pursuant to your lordship's directions when your lordships wanted to have a gender neutral, religion neutral, my lords, child specific, also restricting. My lords, we are dealing with is young children.
I didn't complain about Kara officials at all.
I mean, the process of Kara, sir.
Give us a little time to ourselves reflect on what you have argued. On if there's some need for guidelines, we'll formulate it. We'll just look at what you have prepared. So these are matters which have very wide-ranging ramifications on these issues. So we'll reflect on it and come back next time if we feel that we should give some guidance. We can give that
Lordship. Just 1 minute, Lordship. On page 8, Ministry of Home Affairs, they have issued a circular notification about foreign nationals. I'm talking about foreign nationals who are covered under Hama. They are Hindu. The notification clearly mentions that all PIOs, foreign nationals, they will be, if Indians, they will be treated like NRIs. And therefore, I feel that there is no need to issue an NOC to them unless and until they ask for it. I have specified this in my IA also. There are 200 countries in the world. Many countries, rather most of the countries, they don't ask for such NOC. And Hague Convention guidelines are applicable to foreign nationals, whereas our own nationals having foreign passports abroad, they are not to be treated as foreign nationals. In that case, and I'm talking only about Hama, Hindu nationals. The situation is like that, Lordship. Our vehicles, our roads and drivers are not perfect, but we have permitted transport.
All right, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a very
and if we wait them to be perfect,
we tested his bona fides when he first appeared before COVID before us. It's a genuine, that's why otherwise we wouldn't, we are also very careful, especially adoptions and other things.
And nothing will go wrong, Lordship. Nothing will go wrong.
Right.
I'm obliged.
Thank you.
I'm obliged.
Grateful. What's your name, sir?
I'm Piyush Saxena.
Piyush Saxena.
Lordship, my father retired as a High Court judge from Allahabad.
Your father was a High Court judge from Allahabad?
Yeah. I'm not a law graduate, but he taught me everything. We lost him 2 months back.
Oh, which year was he? My brother was a former judge of the Allahabad High Court.
Yeah, he retired in 1995.
Sorry?
My father retired in 1995.
What was his full name?
Mr. Justice Krishna Narayan.
Krishna Narayan Saxena. He didn't use the word Saxena.
He didn't use.
Krishna Narayan.